You've probably had the experience of lying in bed at night and reliving a discussion you had with a woman earlier that day. I'm going to make sure you never miss these cues again. Suddenly you realize, was she really wanting to sleep with me? The problem is that women aren't like men when it comes to showing sexual interest. They can't just approach you and say, hey, I want to sleep with you. Instead, society has taught them to be subtly suggestive and use a code that most men can't figure out. Today, I'm going to break down 7 unmistakable indicators that a woman wants to have sex with you, and these aren't just theories. I've studied dating dynamics and female psychology for years, and these indicators are tried and true. Pay attention because they may contain the most important information you'll ever find about women's sexual interest. The first sign is that she touches you frequently. Let's start with the most basic signal touch. When a woman is interested in you sexually, her body literally gravitates toward yours. This is because it's pure biology hardwired into our DNA. Here's what to look for. She will start with safe touches like your arm, shoulder, or possibly fixing your collar. These touches may seem harmless, but they're actually HT tests to see how you react. If you say yes, she will escalate the touches to become more intimate. Here's a real-world example. She might put her hand on your leg while you're talking, or she might let her fingers linger a little longer than is required. She might also inadvertently bump into you in confined situations or find an excuse to make physical contact. It's not an accident if she turns to face you when her knee touches yours at a bar and she doesn't move it away. Rather, it's deliberate behavior passed off as chance. The psychology of this is fascinating. When she touches you, she's not simply expressing interest. She's actually establishing a chemical tie between you two by releasing oxytocin, sometimes known as the bonding hormone. How to react: keep your composure, make eye contact, and, if you're intrigued, mimic her touch level. Don't flinch or appear surprised. If she touches your arm, you can touch hers later on in the conversation, but keep in mind to build up gradually and never overtake her in terms of intimacy. Sign number 2. She discusses intimacy. She discusses intimacy. When she begins directing conversations toward personal subjects, that is the second big clue. This isn't just about sex. It's about deep, personal issues that she wouldn't talk about with just anybody. It usually begins innocently enough, but she could inquire about your dating habits or previous relationships. Watch how things develop. If she begins to inquire about your particular tastes, fantasies, or personal experiences, she's doing more than just striking up a discussion. In reality, she's fostering an intimate bubble between you two by disclosing personal insights and experiences. She is building a relationship based on emotion that may eventually result in physical closeness. Real-world illustration. Come on, man, she isn't aiming to become a massage therapist if she begins to tell you about her favorite massages or inquire about what makes you feel good. The important thing is how she responds to your answers. If she leans in closer, maintains intense eye contact, and probes more about your more personal responses. How to play this correctly? She's intentionally creating sexual tension in addition to being courteous. Participate in the discussion without being impolite. Demonstrate your ability to handle sensitive subjects. Share your personal experiences in a mature manner. In a tasteful manner, always keep an eye on her comfort level, and if she's opening up, match it without going overboard. Number 3. She makes intimate gestures. Let's move on to body length language, which is the silent screamer of sexual interest. When a woman is attracted to you, her body sends out signals that her words might miss. Keep an eye out for these important behaviors. She will mimic your movements while playing with her hair, not simply adjusting it casually, but also slowly and deliberately caressing it to reveal her neck, which is a subliminal indication of trust and obedience. The most telling signs are when she holds your stare longer than usual, looks at your lips, and then looks back at your eyes. If you lean forward, she will lean forward. If you take a sip of your drink, she will do the same thing soon after. This triangle gaze is a blatant sign of attraction. Here is an example from real life. You're telling her a story, and she's not just listening. She's completely involved. Her feet are pointing in your direction, her body is oriented toward you, and she's fiddling with her necklace. This isn't just being polite, guys. It's attraction on full show. Since these signals are ingrained in our mating behavior and are frequently subconscious, they are more dependable than words due to the primordial psychology at play here. Your initial course of action should be to remain composed and not draw attention to these cues that could make her feel self-conscious. Instead, gently return the favor if she is facing you entirely. And if she is leaning in, match her stance to allow the tension to organically grow. Invitation to private area. Let's discuss one of the most telling indicators that most men still fail to notice when a woman extends an invitation to her private space. And I'm not simply referring to the traditional Netflix and relax. Here's a real-world example. When a woman invites you to her apartment, she's not actually asking you to help move furniture or fix her laptop. These are examples of plausible deniability reasons, which offer her a socially acceptable justification to leave you alone. If, around 9 p.m., she texts you to ask if you could come over and help me set up my new TV pal, Best Buy has an entire installation crew. So she's preserving her dignity while fostering an intimate moment. The psychology here is fascinating. Women are socially conditioned to avoid coming out as very direct. By using these naive pretexts, she may show interest while shielding herself from possible criticism. Important hint: be mindful of these invitations' timing and context. Intimate overtones are more common in late evening invitations than in afternoon ones, and it's not coincidental if she says her roommate is going away for the weekend. She invites sign number 4. She extends an invitation for you to visit her home right now. The key is to look for changes in her usual style when she knows she's going to see you. For example, if a woman who usually wears casual clothes suddenly shows up in a dress, or if she's wearing more makeup than usual, that's a clear sign. Let's talk about visual cues, specifically when she starts dressing differently around you. This is a sign that's literally staring you in the face, but most men completely miss it. The psychology is primal. It's about showcasing her best features and making herself more attractive to a potential mate. However, here's the modern twist. Women don't dress up for guys they don't want to date. It's that simple. If she's making extra effort with her appearance when she knows she'll see you, she's trying to attract you sexually. Importantly, if you notice that she's wearing her favorite clothing around you, or that she asked you what colors you prefer in women, it's also an attempt to get you to think of her in a more sexual way. She is attempting to appeal to your visual triggers rather than updating her fashion blog. Men, she dresses up to impress you. The 5th sign is arguably the most subtle yet potent one when she highlights her lips. She dresses up to impress you. This goes beyond the overt lip biting you see in movies. There is more subtlety to these actions. Here's what's actually going on. She's not acting randomly when she applies lip gloss slowly while keeping eye contact, runs her fingers across her lips while listening to you, or spends more time with her drink straw. These are subconscious indications of sexual interest. She is subtly stressing a sexual feature when she touches or accentuates her lips during an interaction with you, since the lips are an erogenous zone, and doing so is a fundamental method of communicating intimacy. Pro tip: it's not a coincidence if she consistently does this while keeping intense eye contact. She is establishing a sexual connection with you without speaking a word. The important thing is to observe whether these behaviors become more frequent when she is speaking to you explicitly as opposed to other members of the group. This will confirm that this isn't her typical behavior. In this sign, she highlights her lips. Number 6, she draws attention to her lips. The key, guys, is to understand these signals so you don't miss genuine opportunities for connection. Keep in mind that these signs typically appear in clusters, and that context is crucial. Pay attention to changes in her normal behavior. Always respect boundaries and consent. And most importantly, once you recognize these signs, respond with confidence but respect. Don't rush or force anything. Instead, be ready to take the lead when it's appropriate. The biggest mistake men make isn't missing these signs. Rather, it's either ignoring or overreacting to them. Strike a balance. Be calm, self-assured, and above all, courteous. If you see 3 or more of these indicators on a regular basis, it's likely that she wants to become more personal. The ball is in your court, so don't drop it. Sign number. She develops intimate future scenarios. 7, she develops intimate future scenarios. Let's talk about one of the most potent indicators that often go unnoticed. When she begins to subtly hint at potential future events with, you and no, I'm not referring to her organizing your wedding after just one date. She will begin to set up situations where intimacy can naturally blossom. For example, oh, I make delicious pancakes for breakfast, or my place has this perfect spot for watching sunset movies, guys. She isn't just sharing random details about her life, she's painting pictures of intimate moments. This psychology is intriguing. Women usually don't devote emotional energy to guys they consider to be friends, but when she's subtly picturing more personal situations in her future, she's already thinking, including you. For instance, if she says, "You're going to love this hidden wine bar," she suggests private rather than group activities, which is one of the main distinctions between friendly and sexually interested future talk. I know you're aware of the surety in her phrasing, which doesn't say, "Would you like to see?" but you're going to realize that's emotional investment. Her scenarios frequently involve her personal space. She emphasizes evening or intimate settings. She's specific about details involving just the two of you. Instead, mimic her level of investment and respond positively, but keep things within the same time frame. She's telling guys that when a woman invests emotional energy in creating future scenarios with you, especially private ones, she's not just being friendly. She's orchestrating opportunities for intimacy while maintaining her social dignity, which is female sexuality. If you found this information useful, please hit the subscribe button below and share your experiences with these signals. If you want more content about understanding women in dating, please leave a comment below. I promise you won't want to miss dynamics. Press that like button next week when we dive into 7 indicators she's playing. Until then, keep your eyes open, be confident, and keep in mind that the signs are there if you know what to look for in order to find peace.